I'll be right back in a second.
All right. Alright guys, we're back. Gonna do some Q&A with you guys. And again, I'm gonna take the questions from the Reddit thread. I'm gonna sort by top and I'm gonna see what we get. So I'm gonna refresh it real quick. And we got... Whoa, actually this changed. Oh, I'm not reading that first one.
What's the first
Not reading the first one. Sorry to scat mango. I'm gonna read the second one, which is tied with 39
Wait,
points.
what's the third one? What the fuck? Did I miss it?
You mean where's the first one? Do you want me to read the first one, Steven?
What's the first one?
I'll let
I
Steven look at it.
can't see them at the moment.
Hold on, I'm clicking it. Oh, this guy's mad as fuck because I banned him from my subreddit.
So do you want me to read it or not?
Well, how do I answer it? What is the fucking troll question?
Okay, alright.
It's not the ugly chicks one, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's number one,
yeah.
man.
Ugly chicks.
Ugly Chicks is number one.
He thinks he doesn't even know about the.
Are you in a relationship
He
with an
just
ugly
thinks
chick?
he just thinks I only fuck ugly chicks because he's walked in on me fucking his mom one too many times. He doesn't know that I have other people that I sleep to.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Okay, Weozon. He's got like 10 questions here. Shit. Let's pick some of the best ones. How about that? Oh, let's see. We already did caster power rankings, so we can't ask that. Okay, so this is something I'm not sure about. Maybe you guys know more about. Thoughts on Take, or sponsors of Take, holding tournaments hostage to getting X views on videos. What does that mean?
Take. What did he post? He posted something where like we can host some tournament if we get 80,000 views on this YouTube video. I think. Do you remember that?
Oh,
it was
I
in
vaguely,
German.
yeah, I vaguely remember that. Well, that was oh god, what was it? Wasn't it? Was that the ad block one? That wasn't the ad block one, right? It was something else.
I don't remember.
I mean, I don't know what to think about it, actually. I think that, I mean, the sponsors can ask for whatever they want, you know, I guess. And if you can't meet it, then you can't do the tournament if you can't afford it, right? So I think having X views is not probably an uncommon thing involved with some sponsorship relationships or, you know, contracts between like an event organizer and a sponsor. So whether you can have the tournament or not, that's a different story. I don't think that's up to that's not up to like just one sponsor, you know, giving you those terms and you not being able to do it. The event organizer obviously couldn't get enough money to actually hold a tournament otherwise. So I don't know. You guys have any opinions on this? Nope. All right. Moving on. Let's see.
Oh, actually, no, wait. I just want to say it's really complicated. Okay, and I can't possibly answer that question because it's so complicated.
Okay,
I think it's pretty. Okay, how about I'll give a real answer. I think it's pretty dumb. There were too many ways to cheat the system. You can get people to spam whatever. You can get a bunch of people to look at the video who aren't even interested whatsoever in it, but just because friends are spamming it on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. Which I guess is in a roundabout way is kind of the point, but that doesn't necessarily translate to tournament viewers.
That is totally the point. What do you mean? That is absolutely the point of it.
Yeah, but I mean, when you start to get to like things like that, like it could be like, hey, everybody, like, please just click this video, like, please, like, people who aren't even interested in sports, please just click this video link because if they get 80,000 views, we'll see a tournament. And you might be going out to like audiences and demographics that would never, you know, like you might like message your mom, like, hey, mom, can you please send this to all of your friends or whatever, like your knitting club or whatever, because it just needs to get 80,000 views, and we'll like watch the video once a day, all of our friends and shit, to try to, you know, like I just think when you start doing like tallying of views like that, it gets a little bit silly. There are better ways to evaluate what you think like your viewership is going to be than to kind of do that thing where you're like, oh well, if we get X amount of views, like it'll be, you know, I think it's kind of silly. I don't feel like strongly about it, but I think it's a little bit silly.
Yeah, little pizza.gg-ish, you know, with the whole code just going out on the freaking coupon sites and shit.
Putting that video in German was like shooting themselves in the foot too. I'm not sure why they
yeah,
did that.
that's very, very true too. Okay, let's see, another question. Opinion on the videos the Axiom players do from time to time where they goof around. Is it funny, unprofessional, waste of time? I don't know. I think it's funny.
What?
I think it's
Whose
pretty
videos?
disgusting. I think it's pretty disgusting that Axiom people joke around sometimes. These guys are professionals. They're playing video games. Like there shouldn't be time. If they're joking around, maybe Axiom would have better results if they weren't so fucking around.
If they were practicing those 10
Way
minutes
too
that they're
much
making the video.
Way too much.
You
joking.
could be winning GSLs, man. What the fuck? What the fuck, Crank? Let's see. Let's see, there's a question for me. Have you ever thought about branching out with your shows into more general gaming, covering something like Titanfall or anything not related to Blizzard?
I don't know.
Well, we've covered 2 games that are not Blizzard, like today on Unfiltered.
I think on a barely related note, I think I'm really tempted. I don't know if I can do it though. I think I'm gonna do a Let's Play of Far Cry 3 this weekend, and I'm just gonna go through and play the entire game and point out all of the fucking shitty, stupid parts of it. Does that count? We can talk about that on the next Unfiltered. I've already beat the game once, and
so
it was
we're gonna talk
cool to
about
see.
Far Cry
That was
freaking
super
next.
cool. Yeah,
Unfiltered? Holy shit.
I'll try to do it this weekend. Look at
I
my
don't even
schedule.
have
see
the
what goes
game,
up.
dude.
I have
It's
a
like-
schedule now. Hey, you can go and look at my schedule. I actually have a schedule now. You proud of me?
I'm proud of you, but that's leading to another question I was gonna ask you in a second.
Uh-oh.
Destiny, what do you think about the Tyrone videos?
They're pretty funny. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
I'm actually debating messaging him to see if I can get him to come on stream to talk to me or whatever. Because I bet he would do it.
Really?
It'd be really good advertising for
Oh
him.
my
and it would just
God.
be funny to have him, you know? I mean, it'd be good advertising for him, right?
Yeah, that would be. That'd be funny as shit, man.
Just to see what his like opinion is on some of the weirder things that people make him read and whatnot.
Dude, you might have to have him drop by here too, man. Richard, do you have any plans for a book when you retire to reveal esports dirty secrets?
I don't know if it'll be revealing esports dirty secrets. I think there's no value in doing that once I retire. I'd much rather do that while I'm in esports, so we can
What
do
are you
something
talking about?
them.
It's like the classic poison pill, man, scenario.
No, but I hate that. I think it's really lame. Like
A
what you
cyanide
didn't have.
capsule.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
you didn't have the balls when you were in the industry to out any of this shit. Like the only reason there are some stories I never tell. You know, like there are some great stories I could tell you. I could tell you about
This guy has.
I could tell
This
you
guy
about
has
Counter
crazy
Strike
things.
players turning up to LAN events with suitcases full of cocaine. I could name names and name people who bought that cocaine. I could tell you some great esports stories. But the point is, there's this thing called libel, which as a journalist, like even though it's true, because I can't absolutely prove these awesome stories, they have to stay dead. But they would equally have to stay dead if I wrote a book because of libel, which is the only reason I don't tell a story. If I can absolutely prove something and expose dirty secrets, I'll just do it while I'm working in the industry. In truth, though, to sort of link to this, I have already started a book about the history of esports. There's already a few chapters down. My sort of day-to-day job prevents me from finishing it. But having a long, hard look at my career at the end of the year, I've basically said this is kind of my Peyton Manning, sort of make or break year for me. And I think if we get to December and not a lot's changed, I think I'll have to admit that the great esports experiment has failed for me.
Dude, this is like deja vu, okay? Like I heard this exact same thing either on climbing the ladder.
I wasn't of sound mind. 5 hours on air.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking like a year ago, dude. I mean, it's just like the same. This is the same discussion that we're having, probably on a different show, though. On climbing the ladder at the time.
The reality is, you've got to get out of it at some point. Not all of us can be like Destiny and remain relevant no matter what happens and remain charming and have a wonderful, loving fan base. Some of us just plod through and. It's a very difficult and unpleasant slog. So yeah, I think the end of the year, if something worthwhile doesn't come up, I'll probably call time on it. But that's talking about it in very measured terms.
Yeah.
Like every other time I've talked about it, it's been quite emotional, quite emotive. Like it's always after something terrible has happened. Well, now I've kind of got I basically it was the same way that Total Biscuit lashed out recently, that we've seen a few streamers do it, and I'm really starting to get that now. So I'm trying to sort of marshal my thoughts a bit more and not overreact to things that are very small in esports terms. But I will write a book about esports. I would need something to justify the 10 years wasted otherwise. So I'll definitely write a book. Whether anyone will publish it, I don't know. And if that guy wants to private message me, I'll tell him who the cocaine guy. There you go.
I'm messaging you right now.
Oh boy. Alright, Submitten asks to Destiny Channel Bro, looking at JP with 7K viewers for the new South Park game, do you feel that being the first to stream a new game is a good way to build a new audience, or is the short-term boost in viewers not that significant? You could speak better to this, Steven, than I can.
Wow. Soda Poppin has 25,000 playing that game right now. Fuck, dude.
Playing what, South Park?
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
I don't know how many viewers normally gets, though. He gets a lot, doesn't he, normally?
Soda Poppin'? Yeah, he gets a decent, but not that many, though. Like
The way that it always works is anytime you get your foot in the door first, you have the opportunity to get a large influx of viewers because your foot is in the door. The initial advertising is good, but you have to have something to maintain that viewership. Much the same reason why Spite, being a woman and getting on the front page, is really good for viewership, but you have to have something to keep people coming back.
Right.
It's not enough to just have something, just to be there first. You have to put out some kind of good content too. Even though you'll get an initial bump of viewers, they'll quickly disappear if you don't have like that viewer retention going.
Yep, I agree.
Somebody The comments beneath with that question actually describe it perfectly. The guy, Real SC Talk Son or whatever,
Yep.
he said, it's significant. What's more important, though, is converting as many of those people as possible into long-term fans/viewers. If you saw JP play Pikmin for even 5 minutes, you'll see why these spikes really don't do much for him, since he's not funny, interesting, skilled at games, or even remotely pleasing to look at. I mean, obviously, like, he says it in a lot meaner words, but I mean, it's more like, I mean, that's essentially what it is. You can get a burst of viewers, but if you don't have something interesting to keep them around, then they're just gonna, as soon as whatever you're doing is done, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta say as well, I mean, I think it's something, opinion-wise, I'm really torn about, because I think if you support a streamer, whatever they do for the purposes of entertainment, you're either on board with it or you're not. I think when you follow a streamer, you invest in a personality. And in the same way that last week I argued that people were fucking morons to lambast Destiny for trying to kill Bird Jesus or for playing Eve, I think they're as equally idiotic to lambast JP for streaming.
Nobody's lambasting JP. They're just asking whether whether there's any.
I've seen some criticism leveled at him, on Reddit and various social media outlets. Like, I don't think what he's doing is anything wrong. But equally, what I will say is this whole. It is almost like a cynical way to boost numbers. But then
I don't know.
once you've boosted the numbers, you've then got to do something to retain them. So it's to quote my good friend Stephen, it's complicated, but I definitely don't have an issue with it. I think everyone's looking for a new way to sort of give their stream a jump start, because again, as we touched upon last week, there's so many mediocre streamers. There's so much saturation of shit content right now that it can be very difficult to sort of pan that shit to find a gold nugget now and then. It's becoming increasingly difficult with Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in general, I agree with what you mean. I mean, there has to be some follow up to it for you to get, I guess, quote unquote conversions if you're talking like just the ad space. But you have to have views. You have to get views to begin with to actually get followers. So I think doing these kind of Let's Play things, I think it's fine. I mean, his conversion rate will be greatly affected depending on, upon all those things that you guys talked about, though. So it could be like freaking 0.5% or something if he just does nothing but just sit there and talk about, just play games and say nothing, or it could be, 5% if he's hilarious and that kind of thing. So, no, I think it's cool.
I like JP, and I think he's done some great content, and I think it's a shame that people say things like, what was it, he's got the charisma of a rotting potato. I think I read today on Reddit, which I think is particularly harsh. Not to the potato, if anyone finishes the joke. No, I genuinely like JP, absolutely do, and I like the stuff he did with that role-playing show he's got. Like, I used to watch that. I couldn't believe anyone could make it work, but
he's got like 5 of them now, or 4 of them now, or something.
That falling out he had with In Control was just brilliant. I mean, that was compelling viewing, and that's something you can only get on a JP stream. So I wish people would lay off him a little bit, because I think he produces unique content.
Why are you bringing up that? Out of all the things, out of all the,
I thought it was. That was one of my streaming highlights.
Those are your streaming highlights on roleplay? Yeah. Nice, man.
Absolutely.
Okay, Incognito1992 asks, Destiny, what are your thoughts on Reddit.com's, I guess, the Eve subreddit, constant bashing you for being an inconfident FC who shouldn't be leading any type...
Incompetent?
It says
inconfident.
inconfident.
Oh, a lot of people on that subreddit that were fucking super butt mad that like everybody wanted to give me advice on shit, and a lot of people are like really fucking retarded. I'm a really big like hands-on learner. Like, I like to, like, if I need to learn something, I like to just jump in and do it because I think it's the best way to learn. And the majority of people who exist on this planet are very, 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 very fucking terrible teachers. A lot of people make the horrible assumption that if somebody is good at something, that they can teach somebody else how to do it, and that is very, 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 very rarely true. Almost never.
That's probably...
Almost never will somebody who's really good at something be capable of teaching somebody else. The art of teaching is something that's an entirely separate skill set that has to be worked on versus just doing whatever your craft is. And a lot of the people that are writing EVE advice to me are saying a lot of really fucking stupid stuff. And being a noob, it's really hard for me to pick out who's right or who's wrong. So I'd rather just jump in and figure it all out myself, and then it's easier for me to ask questions at that point. So like instead of having like 10 people all message me these diatribes and these like paragraphs of text like, oh, you should blah 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 blah. I'd rather fucking get in the situation, fuck up over and over again, and then taking that experience, then I can go and I'd be like, okay, well, what about this or this or this? Because then at least I have some kind of understanding of the questions I'm asking. But yeah, there are a lot of fucking egos. In a lot of those threads are like, oh, well, this guy he shouldn't be doing this or this or this, like he needs to do this and that, and then like people just arguing over each other, and it's like, oh, whatever.
All right, fair enough. Richard, have you ever played a single game of StarCraft 2?
Ooh.
This is interesting. I get to drop something that no.
Oh, you're in before I'm GM random, or I'm GM with all 3 races, like they just drop it nonchalantly.
I probably have won as many tournaments as you, though, Stephen. No, I'm kidding. That's low.
That's low.
I know I've won at least one tournament. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm fucking around. I'm sorry. No, like I was the first UK reviewer. My company, Heaven Media, have pretty good relationship with Blizzard, and I got invited to the very, very super like early launch party for StarCraft 2. I had early access to the beta and was sort of playing online, and I stayed up for like 36 hours. I played through the whole campaign and all that bollocks on the disc that we were given, and put out the first review I think that was available on a UK website. And interestingly enough, people were like, well, the game's only been out 36 hours, how the fuck can you review it? So people shat on me, even though it was on a different website to the one I usually work on. So the gaming fans are just as cool as esports fans. I don't enjoy it to play. It doesn't really speak to me in the way that I'm sure it does to lots of you guys. I found the beta experience to be very frustrating. I was just getting shat on in 5 minutes, like just literally just rushed. Like, how's he got so many units? I'm still trying to build turrets and fucking barracks or whatever. I played Terran, I think it was. So yeah, I suck at the game. I don't particularly enjoy it, and I just put it down after I reviewed it. Pretty much, I couldn't tell you any of the names of the fucking new units or what damage they do. But I don't ever pretend that that's what I'm about. You know, I don't think it's necessarily relevant to be a scene journalist to understand the game. And I think one of the things that has massively hampered esports journalism for years is that there's this idea that you play a game, you fail at the game, you transition into a journalist's role. No, seriously, there's people that you transition into a journalist role after being a failure at the game competitively, but you can only write about that game. The game you failed at is the only game you can write about. And I think that's stupid. You know, I play lots of games. I'm a gamer. First and foremost, that's what I am. And I love the scene. I love the players, the personalities, the news and the gossip that happens around it. Could I tell you what a fucking widow mine is? No. Like, I wish, and I've always said this, because I actually do love the StarCraft community more than any other community I've ever served in my writing, and I stand by that, even after the Esports Express thing. I've always found them to be like pretty intelligent, pretty informed, very respectful of people's work. I really want the game to be successful, and I wish I liked the game enough so when I wrote, I could write about it intelligently. From a gaming perspective. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. But as long as StarCraft 2 is played competitively and is relevant, I'll always make a contribution to the scene.
Okay, cool. Let's see. We'll have time for about one or two more.
Do the hot big question if you're going to do anything.
What do you mean you're talking about it?
Because we didn't talk about. People are like, why do you hate Hotbid? I definitely want to address.
Just address it. You don't have to ask the question. Just LeBoat asked Richard Lewis, "What's not to like about Hotbid?" You don't have to problem with Hotbid.
The questions. I know it's nonsense, but just everything's nonsense. So yeah, just do some of the questions, and I'll just address it at the end.
All right. Breaker asked to Destiny, ChanMan, and Richard, could you guys see a recession coming in esports due to a lack of original new content being created? I mean to say, do you guys think everything has already been done with esports and PC games as a whole, or do you think there is room for something new and amazing to happen with this generation's technology? Oh, dude, there'll be plenty of, there will be new things. I mean,
yeah, there's plenty of.
There are plenty of new things. There's plenty of new things to do in esports that just haven't been done yet.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Does he mean like sort of a cultural recession, that we're going to oversaturate the content and there won't be anything new forthcoming? Or does he mean like a literal recession like the one we all survived in 2009? What is he actually asking?
No, I think it's the prior.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you know, I sort of get that question. I think StarCraft massively suffered at some point in its development. I'm not quite sure at what point, but I think we all acutely felt it, that it suffered from this oversaturation of content, and it suffered from. It's like there was so much good stuff around StarCraft. It's like it diminished itself a little bit, and I think it made it a little bit easier for other games to sort of steal a bit of its thunder. But I definitely feel that we're in a second wind, if you like, in StarCraft community.
Well, it's not just StarCraft he's talking about. He's just talking about esports in general. And
he's talking about just esports in general then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at the sort of types of broadcasting that we're getting with Riot's LCS and the International. I look at mainstream TV executives that are trying to emulate the interactive features that things like Twitch bring, and features that streaming has. And I think we're ahead of the curve. I think we're going to be okay. Like I actually think if anything, esports is only going to grow. Like you know, again as a whole. And just look at it from cultural trends, right? People are getting more and more lazy, but they're getting more and more angry. Right? Well, fuck it. I can take my anger out on the internet. I can play some games and take it out on that. I think it speaks to people, you know, quite in ways other sort of pursuits don't. So yeah, I think esports are going to be fucking fine. I think it's inevitable it will become super mainstream.
Steven, what do you think? We headed for a recession?
I don't think so. I don't understand like where the indicator is for that. Sounds like a really dumb question. I don't know. I mean, there's new fucking content every fucking day, like more so than we've had like ever.
Well, is it okay? So it might be new, but is it original content?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I don't understand what I don't understand what prompted the question. Like where did
like an esport. Let's think esports more so than just like general gaming on Twitch, you know, that sort of thing. Like Twitch plays Pokemon. You know, that's new. That's kind of cool, right? But let's say in esports,
like football
has there
and, like,
been
basketball and all that shit has been the same for like how many hundreds of years, or football or soccer? Like I don't know. It just seems like a really dumb question to me.
Well, maybe it's the content that's derived from it, you know.
I guess
more so than just the actual competition themselves. Yeah, so my answer is that, yeah, I think we've just seen the tip of the iceberg from the standpoint of just productions of the competitions themselves. You know, I think we've seen a good percentage of it. You know, probably over 50%, 60%. You know, there's only so much you can really do, and our production level right now is pretty close, or maybe in some ways the same or better than what we see on TV. You know, with the major sports and that sort of thing. Yeah. So there's not much more. There's no quantum leaps I can think of right now that wouldn't happen. You know, just in the other realms too. But dude, content created based on all the games and esports, like just even like shows like that. We haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. I've got so many ideas, I just can't do them all. So and none of them have been done yet. So it's just like, if I have those ideas, there's a lot of other people with ideas too. So, yeah, there's not going to be a shortage of creative stuff coming in the future. So don't worry about that. All right, Richard, what do you think of Hotbid?
Right. So I hear a lot about how I don't like Hotbids. So I'm going to clear that up. Right, how to frame it. I used to respect him.
How to frame it? Oh my god,
yeah,
okay. You used to respect him. Okay.
Yeah, I think the problem I've got is, I've no doubt alluded to this But it's very hard to talk about it honestly, because then the morons out there in cyberspace will tie together the Esports Express article with my views about Hotbit, not realizing that as an evolved human being I can keep my work
my
and my
God.
personal opinions separate. They won't understand that. I get why they won't understand that. It's tragic that they won't. But let's try anyway. So my main issue arose. I met Hotbit actually for the very first time in person at some DreamHack event. We had a few drinks. He came over to me. He was like, man, you know, fucking, it's great to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Struck up a conversation. I don't presume to talk to people when I go to these things. I just drink with the players that I know and keep myself to myself, because, I find all that a bit fucking weird. Anyway, so he came over to me and we had a conversation. I really thought, this dude's cool, man. Like, I'd heard about how he was awkward on interviews and things like that, and I'd only seen a few, and it never really registered with me that he wasn't a good interviewer or anything. But he didn't seem awkward at all in person. He seemed really personable and a nice guy. And I was like, man, it's thanks very much for coming over to say hello. Can't really have a long conversation over this loud music. And I was drinking with Panda Tank at the time, and he was 3 beers in and throwing drinks over everyone, because he was one of those guys who got pissed super quick and then stayed at that level of drunkenness for the rest of the night, no matter what you did. Water, coffee, more booze. He just attained this state of drunkenness. So I didn't have a lot of time to talk to him, and then the next thing that happened was I started writing this sort of what people consider the crusade, which was to talk about EG and the Papa John's thing, and how, what started it all off was just me saying I don't think Papa John's is an ethical company. EG went mad about that. Like Alex Garfield, who I knew from before, even Evil Geniuses, went mental. He just apparently went mental about that, and even though I didn't say anything bad about EG, bad about any of his players, he blacklisted me immediately. Like, how dare you insult Papa John's? Papa John's, who've done what for esports, by the way? They made you guys buy a bunch of pizzas and then fucked off. Yeah, well, all hail Papa John's. So I was a little bit perplexed by that, and then I carried on with the Land of Broken Promises thing, and the next thing I knew, the fallout was that Team Liquid wanted to blacklist me as well. And I was really surprised. Yeah, I was really fucking surprised. Because I've done, you can go out and find these. I've done so many interviews with Team Liquid players. Like, I know that I'm good friends with them. Well, I was good friends. I don't even think he's allowed to talk to me. I don't know what the rules are. But their manager, Bumblebee, the guy who used to be at Mouse Sports.
Yeah.
I knew him when he was just a regular guy. He just wasn't even a manager at Mouse Sports. He set me up to do my first ever StarCraft 2 interview. So I knew these people. I was really weirded out by it. I interviewed Hero, I interviewed TLO a bunch of times. Wrote articles about them, nothing but praise, And I got talking a Hotbit about it, and he said, and this is what I mean, like, for a journalist to sign off on blacklisting journalists is where the problem arose. And he said that the blacklisting was justified because I'd misrepresented Team Liquid by saying they'd not kept their promises in the Pizza GG fiasco. Which, I don't know. I tried to interview their players. I was like, TLO, Darius, you're not really... Sorry, we've got to blacklist you. You misrepresented Team Liquid. They kept saying the same thing, misrepresented. Now, in journalism, that's a very specific word to use. That means I've either falsely attributed a quote to you, or I have erroneously stated facts about you to deliberately mislead the readers. I have done neither of these things about Team Liquid. I would urge anyone to find evidence of that and point it out to me. Please do. So... yeah, that was just when I was like, you know what? Fuck you, man. Like, a journalist should back a journalist. We all do the same thing. I've had fallings out with Thorin. I've said some ridiculous things. Now the perception is I suck his dick. I've had fallings out with Slasher, right? I've called Slasher a hack. you know. But when the EG thing with Slasher went down, I knew what the right side was, and I backed him because we're all in the same business. I've argued with loads of journalists and called them all a shower of cunts. That's me, and I get it back, and that's what we do. That's the business. But at the end of the day, we should all have a base level of respect for each other, and I genuinely believe that's there. Hotbid sort of chose the organisational side of things over the craft, and that made him a corporate shill to me and someone who I can't possibly respect. So that's the full story. But it didn't impact on the article that I wrote. Like, I was very upfront with him. I even told him I was writing the article in advance. I interviewed him. I said, if you don't want to give me any comment, I'll understand. I mean, again, I was really respectful. I showed him more respect than he ever showed me with that blacklisting bullshit. So the idea that I don't like him is ridiculous. The idea, what people should be talking about is, why are these big organizations blacklisting journalists? Like, why can't I say you didn't keep promises but still interview your players? I think that's a far more interesting question. But again, the community wants to talk about popularity contests. It doesn't want to talk about what's good for the industry. So here we are.
Okay. All right. I guess that's a good way to end Q&A there. But okay,
I
good.
like ChanManV for what it's worth. I've never had.
You like
I did
Hotbid?
notice Chris is turning that way. He's turning that way. Did you notice with the Blizzard thing? The way that all of a sudden all his content was like Blizzard.
Oh boy.
Please vote for me, Blizzard. Please give me some money, Blizzard.
Yeah, that was exactly me. Yeah, Blizzard's paying me, guys. That's exactly what's happening.
I think you've let a lot of people down, Chris, and I think the next episode of Unfiltered should just be called I Apologize. And it's just you saying sorry for 2 hours.
That's a lot of sorries, man.
Oh.
How many sorries could I say in 2 hours? Man, that's a lot. All right, guys. Well, thanks for the questions, everybody. It's always fun to take them. It's basically new content for me. I mean, it's like new topics and stuff that always come up from the Q&A, which is always unpredictable and cool. It's one of the things I love about the show. But last thing I want to do, guys, I do want to let you guys know about the Unfiltered shirts. This is the
here we go.
This is portion.
Corporate shill. Remember those two words.
Corporate shill. Corporate. How's that corporate shill when I work for myself?
You stuff. And as you know from the Esports Express article, you're not allowed to sell anything to anyone because I hate that.
Is it a corporate shill if I'm working for myself?
Yeah, exactly. You're an asshole. Yeah, everything that's wrong with esports. I can't believe it's come to this. I can't believe it. Really good.
Anyways, guys, Unfiltered shirts are out. I'm wearing it right now. They're pretty cool. They're comfortable, great, and I mean the logo. I don't know. I like the logo. I've always been a huge fan of the logo, and John made the logo too. So you should give John Clark a big shout out for Unfiltered logo back.
Can you bring the logo up a second?
Yeah, haven't you seen it? Here, I mean, I'm bringing the shirts up. The shirts
are you showing it now? Let me just catch up.
Yeah.
Because is anyone watching True Detective? You watching True Detective?
No.
I'm trying to look at it. I'm pretty sure it looks very similar to the symbol. Only True Detective viewers are going to get this. I'm pretty sure it looks very similar to the symbol that the child killers have tattooed on their victims. So you might want to rethink that.
This is a great sales pitch for me right here.
Yeah, if you want to get mistaken from a child killer from a fictitious drama series with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, this is definitely the t-shirt.
Matthew McConaughey's he's an Oscar winner now, man. He's an Oscar winner now.
Someone's typed lol. I'm right. There you go. Look, it does. People are laughing, Chris. I've made them laugh, therefore I am right.
Oh my god.
So
anyways, guys, go get the shirt. If you're interested and you want to support the show or support just projects I do, and
oh my god, the bad guy in it's called the Yellow King as well. So I can make a great joke right now, and I'm not gonna do it because I respect you too much.
Oh my god. But yeah, guys, go and get them and let me know. Just let me know what you guys think about the shirt and all that good stuff. And tweet me pics. If you guys get the shirts and you get them in the mail and all that stuff, tweet me pics. That'd be awesome to see, because my wife actually likes it too. Comparing this shirt and Valley Town shirts are coming out too, but she likes these shirts way more than the Valley Town shirts. So I don't know what that means or anything, but anyways, it's pretty cool. But and you'll what? You're not helping, man. You are not helping. You better be buying like 20 of these shirts because you're.
Dude, I'm gonna buy one from you. I even said, didn't I? Because you'll send Destiny one because he's a co-host.
Of course.
Your favorite guest who elevates this show. You won't send him one.
God.
So
self-proclaimed favorite guest.
Got to say, look,
self-proclaimed favorite guest.
Esports Express has proven laughter is the gateway to cash, and everyone's laughing in Twitch chat right now. You're gonna sell a fuck ton of these, dude. You'll be able to retire.
Whatever. I just, anyways, if you guys want to represent the show, I mean, just kind of like again support the show and all that stuff, that'd be awesome and great, and you guys would be, beautiful, awesome. So let's do some shout outs. Richard, do you want to do some thank yous and shout outs?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I think you're probably going to give me a rest for a while. I don't
give you a rest a while. You're benched, man.
You're going to put away this particular toy. It got boring. Shout out to Stephen. I always love hearing his views about how complicated things are. No worries, dude. Shout out to Too Good for messaging me on Twitter. Yeah, because I said he didn't read the article and he was bullshit, and he sort of admitted that he didn't read the article, but other people had, and I'm just being a dick because I'm just salty. Everyone knows that. So sorry to James. I love him. I love him all the same. And yeah, everyone in the Twitch chat for being what you are. Keep it going. So yeah, it's been great. Thank you,
Steven.
Shout out to Ting. Go to destiny.gg/Ting. You can buy cell phones if you like cell phones. Shout out to Dollar Shave Club, destiny.gg/shave. And shout out to Eve. If you want to play Eve and join my corporation, we're going to be taking over the universe. Destiny.gg/Eve. Sign up for a fucking trial under my account. I get money. I put it back into the corp. We all get ships. It's good times.
Everybody get ready next week. Far Cry talk. Even though I'm not going to be able to.
Oh, maybe. I might do it. I'll think about it.
There might be other things happening, actually, Stephen, for next week. So.
Like what?
We'll see.
Oh,
I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but there's.
You do know.
I don't know. I don't.
Does it have to do with?
No, it has nothing to do with any.
Can I guess?
No.
Wait, am I allowed to guess? Why
no.
not?
I'm just saying, like, it might not be Far Cry, but there might be other stuff to talk about.
Like another game? Like another team-based game?
Not sure. Not sure, but anyways, for those Far Cry fans, just get ready because I'm not gonna. I don't think I'll be playing it, so it might be a conversation with Steven.
I will tune in. I will love it, man. Honestly,
shout out to
what Far Cry?
Shout out to Russia for making wonderful rifles. I brought a Mosin gun last week. I had a lot of fun shooting it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ukrainian people that are about to find out about the efficiency of those rifles.
If you want to buy one, you can find it easily for less than $200. It's a lot of fun. Surplus ammo is very fucking cheap. There's still plenty of surplus ammo. Hopefully Russia doesn't use it all in the next coming weeks. As long as they don't. Yeah. Ammo is very fucking cheap. Highly recommend anybody that's shot anything before to get one of those. They're a lot of fun. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, man. Big shout out to Richard and Steven today for doing the show, of course. Big shout out to you guys for watching. The VODs will be on youtube.com/ChanManV as always. The first two parts are already there. You can start here, guys. So I'm going to link it to you real quick. And, and follow the channel if you enjoy the show or any of my other shows. Really appreciate that. Best way to get notified, too. You get emails and your phone will message you or a notification will pop up on your phone whenever the stream goes live. And follow us on Twitter at ChanManV, at Steven_Bonnell, and at Richard_A_Lewis. And I think that's going to be it, guys. So that's it for this week's episode of Unfiltered. We'll see you next week. All right, later.
Peace out, guys. So we went from sweat.